Hello, everyone. Lately I've developed a taste for engaging naval vessels in different types of airplanes. Sometimes the P-47, but primarily the Mosquito. So with the Mosquito adding the new rockets, I wanted to see how well they'll perform against a naval target. So I loaded up eight, or rather four on each wing of the new rockets, and these are the 25-pound warheads. That specifically are designed supposedly for a naval strike. Um, Common sense kind of says that the 60-pound warhead, the larger warhead, should do more damage, but I want to try the 25 simply because the manual says that they're specifically designed for anti-ship action. So here we are, we're turning onto the runway and we're getting ready to take off. Um, I skipped through the initial loadout of the weapons, so you just have to take my word that there are four rockets with 25-pound warheads under each wing, and obviously we have our cannon and our machine guns in the nose, which will probably come in handy because my target for today on the Growling Sidewinder World War II server is going to be a submarine, a U-boat. And there are a number of reasons for this. First, it's not as challenging to attack a U-boat as it is to attack a battleship. Simply because it has a single cannon, or machine gun, I don't know what it has, but it's got a single weapon, and when it opens fire from pretty far off, but it's pretty harmless until we get real close. Now it becomes deadly accurate in close. The problem is, in order for your weapons to be accurate, particularly with these new rockets, you have to be right on top of the target. So that kind of presents an interesting conundrum. So how do you approach it? How do you maneuver to stay out of its line of fire? And then how do you deploy your own weapons? So that's what I want to explore in today's mission. So we start off, headed toward the French coast. We're still flying over the English coast here, and off in the distance I spotted a couple of dots. I don't know what they are. They could be ours, they could be enemy. I just don't want to get into some kind of a dogfight. Right now I'm loaded up with all kinds of rockets and ammo, pretty heavy on fuel, so I want to avoid tangling with fighters if I can help it. Later on the way back, if we lighten up a little and I'm sufficiently undamaged, then I wouldn't mind getting into a dogfight. But right now, my primary mission is finding that sub and sinking her, if I can. The reason why I chose the sub is because I kind of know where they operate. For the most part, the subs operate north. They kind of go north and south along the French coast, usually not too far off the coast. From Cap Grenade further south, maybe 20-30 miles. So it's fairly easy to find them. You don't have to go too far down, and the problem is because they're such easy targets to find, a lot of the guys flying Mosquitoes and P-47s and P-51s love to attack those subs. So half the time, when I'm going after one of them, it's already been damaged, so that doesn't make much of a challenge. What I want to find is a sub that has been undamaged, and an undamaged sub will give me an opportunity to test out the new rockets and see how much damage they really deliver. See if between the rockets and the guns I'll have enough ammo to sink a sub all by myself. Now obviously this is not realistic. In World War II, obviously they would never send out a single Mosquito on a mission like this. But we're not talking about realism here. This is DCS, and it's all about having fun. So I skipped over some of the flight because nothing really happens. I flew for about 15-20 minutes at low level in order to avoid enemy aircraft detection. Those four dots that I spotted way off in the distance, they flew south, then they turned inland, flew up the French coast and toward Cape Rene, and that's the last I saw them. So my guess is, since nobody fired at them, they were probably German. Either they were Ju-88s or maybe they were FWs or 109s. Either way, I did not want to mess with them. I just want to find my sub. So here we are. We're getting close to the French coast, so at this point I have no choice but to pop up. Like I said, I flew most of this flight at about 100 to 150 feet off the deck. But now that I'm close to the coast, I need to pop up at an altitude so I can actually find the sub. I will never find it if I stay down low. So I'm at about 2,000 feet right now, looking around and sort of getting ready to start going up and down the coast looking for the sub. But as I get close, she pops right up, I mean literally right in the middle of the patrol range, and she opens fire. You can see the tracers, so that makes it real easy to find her. And I don't see any smoke, so clearly she hasn't been damaged yet, so that's good luck for me. Again, I did not want to engage a sub that's already been damaged. I wanted someone that's essentially untouched, so I can see how much damage my weapons can deliver. So as you can see, she's firing with her single gun. I don't know if it's a machine gun, I assume it is, but at such a large range she doesn't really present any challenge. But as I get close in order to deploy my weapon, now she starts getting whacked. And here are the rockets. They hit dead on, and the sub seems to be down to 92% damage, so that's pretty good. But I honestly don't know how much of it was due to the new rockets and how much was due to the machine gun, or rather the cannon that was in the nose. It's a combination of the two, but either way, I fired all my rockets in a single salvo, and now I'm just down to machine gun and cannon. I'm saving the machine gun rounds in case I have to fight, to dogfight anybody on the way back. For the time being, I'm just gonna use my cannon and see if I can finish her off. So at this point, she's now on fire, and the crew's probably trying to get out of the sub, so she doesn't really fire back. So now it's just, it's become super easy to finish her off. I just don't know if I'll have enough rounds left in the cannon to do the job. So I'll do one more pass here, and hopefully we'll finish it up, and then we can go home. So coming around, so lining up along the long axis of the sub, and let's open fire. And she took 99% damage, so this just 1%, but we got a problem. We're totally out of ammo. The cannon ammo is now gone too, so I'm down to machine gun rounds, which I haven't used yet, but we're gonna have to use them. I'd really hate to go home with the sub damaged at 99%. Someone else is gonna come around and claim the credit. So I'll just use my machine gun, and hopefully, you know, it's only 1% that I need to make up, so hopefully the machine gun rounds will be enough to finish the job. And if I happen to run into any fighters on the way back, hopefully I can outrun them. So there we go, and it just takes a few rounds, machine gun rounds, and the sub is done. He's dead, and we can now turn home. At this point, I'm pretty light on fuel, but I'm out of cannon rounds, and I have no idea how many machine gun rounds I have. So, I wouldn't mind if I run into FW190A8 or something, some easy target that I can play with, but or maybe a Ju-88. But if a 109 jumps me, I'm gonna be in big trouble. I'm going to be in big trouble if a 109 jumps me no matter what. But look at this, I got holes all over my wings. I really don't know if it's the sub, or maybe I did it to myself with all those rockets fired at point blank range. But either way, I flew home, and this is now coming up on the British coast, and getting ready to go through dry and head for the airport. So it's just a beautifully rendered scenery. Look at how the sand transitions into the ocean. The coastal towns is just amazing. It's truly enjoyable just flying over. Sometimes you forget that you're in an active war zone. You just and you just enjoy the scenery. So here we are. We're relatively safe now, flying more or less home. And I'm gonna switch off all the switches. Not that I have any ammo left, but put the safeties back on. And now we're next to the airport. We're gonna initiate the downwind, and I've turned on all the identifying equipment, the IFF, different lamps, to make sure that our guys don't shoot me down. And now we're gonna cut the throttles and just coast around, flaps down. And let's see if the gear is gonna come down, because sometimes when the wings are damaged like this, the gear just doesn't come down. So hopefully it won't be a problem this time. So let's see. Yeah, the gear is down and locked. So both wheels green, so we're good. We're gonna start our base turn now. Gonna add a little bit of throttle. I want to keep my airspeed around 120, 125 or so. Altitude looks good. And we're just about ready to turn base to final. And we'll call it a mission. So I initiated my turn just a little bit late, so I'm using rudder to save the situation here. There we are, we're lined up. Now I am flying VR, so in VR I constantly have to reset the my pilot view, because otherwise when I'm in engaging targets I can't use the aiming reticle. So that's what you saw, that jumping thing is just the VR reset. Anyway, we're over the threshold, doing about 110 knots. And not too gentle of a landing, but not too bad either. So I'm just gonna let her coast, slowly apply brakes, let her slow down, and then we're gonna turn off the runway and look for a spot. So here we'll go to the right here. And find a parking spot, and we'll call it a day. So all in all, I doubt that this is realistic at all, but at least in DCS it looks like you can take on a sub with a single Mosquito.